Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Anizi with What If Naruto characters were in Pokemon. This was suggested to me by a channel member who wants to remain anonymous. So if you want to be able to request some videos, check out the video I posted before this, which was the channel update video. So let's get started. We start in a village on the outskirts of the Kalos region. It was a stormy night. This village was called the Leaf Village. We see a young boy who had been orphaned at a young age walking down the street. As he was walking, all he heard was, "Get out, you demon. You're a failure. We don't want you here. Just disappear." Naruto had enough. Every day, the other villagers would pick on him. His teacher would sabotage his studies at the Leaf Pokemon Academy. The only people who cared for him was Old Man Ichiraku and Big Sis Ayami, who gave him food when he was out of money. Well, Old Man Hokage gave him some money sometimes, but he was normally too busy. "Shut up, you will regret being mean to me when I'm champion of Kalos," Naruto yelled at the villagers, throwing the rocks that they threw at him back at them as he ran towards the forest. Naruto arrived at a cave where there were Pokemon. Naruto waved at his Pokemon friends. For some reason, Naruto could make friends with Pokemon, even the angriest of Pokemon. Like in the academy, when a teacher's Gyarados went out of control, Naruto calmed it down and befriended it. The teacher said that the demon had possessed the Pokemon to make himself look good, but Naruto never believed that. Naruto liked Pokemon. They wouldn't shun him but play with him instead. Living amongst wild Pokemon was a dream for Naruto. Naruto then left the cave to collect some wood for fire. Unknown to everyone, Naruto had learned to survive at the age of 3 when he was trained by wild Pokemon on how to survive after he was kicked out of the orphanage. Naruto leaned against a tree as thunder struck. Naruto thought back to the village. "I hate that village. No one cares about me. Maybe I should leave," Naruto says as he dropped to the ground, tucking his head near his knees as he cried. Suddenly, Naruto saw a purple and grey blur hit the ground near him and leaving a giant crater. He then saw a cat-like Pokemon. "Wow, this is a Pokemon I've never seen before," Naruto says, curious, rushing towards the Pokemon that had burn marks and bruises over it. It also had a piece of net. Little Naruto looked around to find something to help the knocked out Pokemon. He then saw an abandoned wagon as he loaded the Pokemon onto it and took it back to the cave. "Don't worry, I'll take care of you," Naruto says as he wrapped the Pokemon's wounds and gave them berries. Time skip. Without warning, the Pokemon's eyes smashed open. It looked around to see it was in a blanket and it had wounds wrapped with pieces of shirts. "What's going on here?" it said. "Hey, morning, have you rested?" Naruto asked. The Pokemon looked to see a child. Not knowing if it was an enemy or neutral, it got into a fighting position. After observing it, it knew that the kid was no threat. "I bought you some peckerberries and some orange berries. It will help you heal," Naruto says, dropping the berries in front of Naruto excitedly. "I had a feeling you'd be hungry, so I banged you lots of berries for you. I picked different kinds as well," Naruto says. He must have spent hours looking for this, and they looked freshly picked, not some from stores. The Pokemon thought, amazed that this boy would go through such lengths to heal someone he doesn't know. "Where am I, human?" the Pokemon asked. "That's so cool. How can you speak without moving your mouth?" Naruto says. "Answer my question first, human," the Pokemon says. "Oh, sorry, we're on the borders of the Leaf Village, a village on the borders of a small town called Vanvio Town of the Kalos region," Naruto says, smiling. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki, by the way. What's your name?" Naruto says as he ate the berry. Mewtwo, the Pokemon now named Mewtwo, says. "That's such a cool name," Naruto says. "Why did you save me? What are you planning, human?" Mewtwo says as Naruto tilted his head in confusion. "I saved you because it was the right thing to do," Naruto says, surprising Mewtwo. "You should go home, someone will be worried," Mewtwo says. "I don't have any parents and no one cares for me. Are you alone too?" Naruto says. "The one man who I thought I could trust and was my friend was only using me. Humans are trash. They don't listen to what I say. When I told them to stop because it hurt, when I told them I don't want to do this anymore, they did not listen to me," Mewtwo yells, thinking about what Giovanni did to him. "How can you move on if you keep yourself in the past?" Naruto says. "You don't know anything about me. What are you trying to be, kid? A hero? A main character? You're delusional. You won't be a hero and you won't be a main character either," Mewtwo says, but was shocked that Naruto smiled at him. "We're not that different from each other, Mewtwo. We both are hated. We both are alone. We both were treated like weapons. For you, it was whoever used, and for me, it was the village I come from. We both locked ourselves out from others. But within this world, you'll meet people who will love and care for you unconditionally. And for people like us, meeting people like them are blessings, Naruto says, making me to think. After I was kicked out of the village, I had nothing. Nowhere to eat, nowhere to sleep, no money. That's when I came across the forest and the Pokemon welcomed me in. They showed me how to survive. They took care of me. They gave me unconditional love, Naruto says. As Mewtwo looked at Naruto with guilt, this boy was like him, an outcast to society. Mewtwo knew that Naruto was speaking the truth as he was using his psychic power to check if he was telling the truth. He then also saw his memories as well. Naruto got up and walked to the exit of the cave. Are you leaving already? I thought you said you have nowhere to go, Mewtwo says. Just for a bit, I'm going to get food and water for us before it gets dark, Naruto says. As he grabbed his handcrafted spear and walked to the exit towards the forest. I won't be long, just rest, you're not healed yet, Naruto says. Why do you smell if you're in pain, Mewtwo says. I smell for myself, not for anyone else, Naruto says. Naruto Uzumaki, how do I know that you won't try to catch me once I let my guard down, Mewtwo says. You will just have to trust me, Naruto says, as he left. Trust, I hate that word, but coming from him, it sounds different. He has a point, he could have caught me when I was knocked out, but he didn't, Mewtwo thought as he smiled for the first time. After that, the two outcasts talked for hours. It was mostly Naruto speaking and Mewtwo listening. Mewtwo knew that he had to heal and rest for a few weeks before leaving if he wanted to stand a chance of not being captured. When Mewtwo told Naruto he would leave, Naruto secretly got sad knowing he would be alone again, but he didn't want to make Mewtwo feel bad. Naruto and Mewtwo shared their stories. Mewtwo's was how he was running from hunters and people like Team Rocket because he was a legendary Pokemon, and his dream is to find home and acceptance. Naruto shared his story about the village, how they treated him like a monster, a demon, even though Mewtwo already knew from the memories of Naruto. He also told Mewtwo that his dream was also to be accepted and to find a home. Mewtwo had offered to destroy the village. However, Naruto, being young, told him that he didn't want death on his hands. Mewtwo understood this because Naruto was still a sweet innocent child. Naruto was now getting water from the lake for the injured Mewtwo when he saw hunters that Mewtwo described. Why are they here? Mewtwo told me that he ditched them during the storm, Naruto says, getting worried. I have to protect Mewtwo, Naruto says, dashing towards the cave. Mewtwo, are you okay? Naruto asked when he got to the cave, confusing Mewtwo, who saw Naruto in distress. What's going on? Mewtwo says, getting ready to battle. Thank goodness you didn't leave the cave. Those hunters, they're here for you. But I'll lead them away from the cave, Naruto says. I know I'm weak, but please just stay here. I'll keep them from coming here, even if it means losing my own life, Naruto says. Don't be foolish, Naruto, Mewtwo says, not wanting to lose the friend he has made. Please let me help you. You've been my only friend. And listen to me. Let me repay you, Naruto says, shocking Mewtwo. He should be the one repaying Naruto for healing him, not the other way around. Stop trying to solve everything by yourself. You're not alone, Mewtwo says, as Naruto looks surprised. Don't be so quick to throw your life like that, Mewtwo says. You taught me what it means to care for someone, what it means to have a friend. So let's do this, Mewtwo says. Let's do this, Mewtwo, Naruto says, as the two smiled and hugged before they left to take out the hunters. When they got there, Naruto distracted the hunters, while Mewtwo used his teleport and side strike to decapitate them all. Naruto then went to the cages where he saw lots of Pokemon and released them. He then broke all of the hunters' Pokeballs, as the two then ditched their bodies in a lake. Time skip a few weeks. Mewtwo was leaving today. I know I shouldn't be sad, Naruto says, as tears came running down his face. Please let me stay with you. I know I'm weak, but please, Naruto cried, as Mewtwo felt more pain seeing Naruto cry than he ever did in any battle. You're not weak, Naruto. You've given your life up to save others. Other humans wouldn't do that, they would just run. Over these years, you showed me what it means to have a friend, to trust someone. You brought me happiness, so that's why, Mewtwo says, pulling out a GS ball. What kind of Pokeball is this? Naruto says. You're my friend, Naruto, and I want you to catch me. This Pokeball is special, and it is tied to you. Only you could use it. No one else can steal me from you, and it doesn't get accepted in trade systems. so nobody can take me away from you. And also, it can increase its weight when someone other than you touches it, meaning no trainer will be able to pick it up, Mewtwo says. Are you sure? Yes, in a way you're protecting me, Mewtwo says, as Naruto captures it. Mewtwo then comes out of the Pokeball. You know, Mewtwo, I don't want to just be Hokage or Kalos champion. I got a new dream now. I want to be champion of all of the regions. That's my new dream. Because you want to show the world that clone Pokemon aren't weak, and together we can put our dreams and achieve our dreams by me becoming champion of all regions and you becoming my main Pokemon, which means that you are the strongest, Naruto says. So your dream is a combination of both our dreams, Mewtwo says, smiling at how innocent his best friend was. Come, Naruto Uzumaki, let us depart, my best friend, Mewtwo says. We now see in a laboratory a man waking up. This was Professor Sycamore. Today will be the day he will be going down to the Leaf Village, the place that he will be giving fresh rookies from the 5 villages their starters. Some referrals will also be coming over there to join the Pokemon League, even though they're not part of the 5 villages. Originally, everybody would come to his lab to get the Pokemon from the villages and the referrals, but since it got too crowded, it was decided that one village would host the starter receiving event, and this year it was Leaf's turn. But that wasn't what made him excited for today. It was a blonde boy who was being referred by 2 champions out of the region, and this kid was the winner of the Unova, Kalos, Sinnoh, and Hoenn Cup. This person's name was Naruto Uzumaki, a legend in the community of the professors because he's been doing lots of mega and legendary research. We now see Professor Sycamore standing in front of a few kids, 6 boys and 3 girls from Leaf Village, who called them the Rookie 9, 5 from the Cloud Village, 6 from the Rock and Sand Villages, and 2 from the Mist Village. Then a huge roar was heard as everybody looked out of the windows to see a giant dragon Pokemon, a Salamence, landing towards them. This was a green Salamence and it was shiny, surprising everyone. On top of the Pokemon was a blonde boy with blue eyes, who had a Mega Ring and was wearing a cloak. The professor went outside to see what was going on. Are you Professor Sycamore by any chance? Naruto says as he was being nuzzled by the giant green Salamence. Yes, by any chance are you Naruto Uzumaki? The professor says as the boy nodded. I've heard a lot about you from your 2 sponsors, one of which being Steven Stones, the champion. I've also heard of your research in Mega Evolution and legendary Pokemon from Professor Oak, and I respect your work, Mr. Uzumaki, Sycamore says. Thank you, I always am happy to help, Naruto says. I see, I was really surprised when I got a call today from the champion of the Hoenn region and the champion of Sinnoh referring you for the Kalos League. They both said their little brother wants to join the Kalos League. Even though it was late, I couldn't deny them. Not when 2 important people refer the same trainer and one that has helped in researching Pokemon, Sycamore says. When the last part was said, he was acting like a fanboy, making Naruto's sweat drop. But by the way, call me Naruto. There's no need to be too formal, Naruto says. If it's alright, can I leave my Salamence out in the garden to play? Naruto says as Professor nodded. The Salamence then went to play with the Professor's Garchomp. Of course, but your entrance has caught the attention of some people, Professor says as Naruto looked around to see lots of Leaf citizens looking at him. When they walked in, they saw the lab assistants that came with Sycamore running around worriedly asking if he was alright. I'm sorry for visiting unexpectedly, Naruto says. No worries, Sycamore says, as they saw starter Pokemon being wheeled out towards the room that they were walking towards. Oh, so you're giving starters today, Professor? Naruto asked. Yes, it's for the Leaf, Cloud, Mist, Rock and Sand Village Pokemon Academies. That's why we're in the Leaf Village, Professor says, making Naruto get angry, and his Pokeball glow purple when the Leaf Village was mentioned. Aren't you originally from Leaf? Professor asked. Yes, I was, but not anymore. I don't acknowledge them as my village, Naruto says, as the professor just ignored it. When they walked into rooms, they saw the Kages and parents of the trainers waiting there. There was also senseis over there, and they were looking at the strange new blonde. The Hokage, however, noticed the whisker marks on Naruto. Naruto, is that you? Hiruzen says. Naruto, everyone from Leaf says. What's that loser doing here? The Uchiha bastard said. That disgrace is here? Rano said. What's the deal? Ino says. Why is the dropout here? Inuzaku shouted. Hiruzen, Your village is quite rude towards the guests, Onichi says. But Hiruzen was too shocked to reply as he saw many Minato standing before him. Enough, I won't be having any of you disrespect my guests. Perhaps you're not old enough or mature enough to get your Pokemon, the professor yelled, causing all of the trainees to flinch and quiet down. Now to answer your question, Naruto is here to get his Pokedex updated because he already has Pokemon and to be registered in the Kalos League. Oh no, he came today so he has to go through the graduation ceremony in the village, the Raikage yelled, not wanting to see the traditions that the villagers had broken because some random referral trainer came, especially since this trainer was originally from the villages, so it was his duty to go through this graduation ceremony. Professor, may I use your phone please? Naruto says, shocking everyone because he ignored the Raikage. Of course, just dial before pressing any numbers, the professor says. What makes the user so special? Imo asked. You don't know? Naruto Uzumaki, winner of the Juniors Cup in Kalos, Unova, Sinnoh, Hoenn, and much more, the assistant said. He's also the winner of the Elemental Regions tournament. What's that tournament all about? The Horanu asked. It's the Type Expert tournament. Most pros go there. He was up against actual ace trainers, and you can only use one specific type. What type do you use? Hinata asked. Dragon type, Sycamore said, as the emo gripped his dex in anger. Sakura, Horano, and Ino were scared that Naruto would beat the emo. Shikamaru and Chargy were proud. Kiba was jealous like the dog he was. He was growling to himself. Naruto dialed in the number, and Champion Steven appeared on the screen. Ah, Naruto, I see you've made it to Sycamore. I'm glad you decided to call me. We found a special stone in the abandoned building in Kanto and think it might be useful to you, so I'm sending it over, Steven said with a smile. The professors from Leaf and even the Kage were awed to see a kid getting respect from the champion, a trainer that would destroy their teams like it was nothing with a single Pokemon. By the way, how's Chrome doing? Steven asked as Naruto grinned and sent out the shiny Metang. As you can see, your Metagross's son is doing quite well, Nichan. He evolved, Naruto says. The rookies took out the Pokedex. Metang data unknown. However, this Metang data is unknown. Your Pokedex is not updated to National Dex. However, what is known is Metang is level 42 and registered to Naruto, the Pokedex said. Imo and Kiba was jealous. Okay, I have to get back to the research team. Make sure that you call Cynthia. You know how overprotective she is of her little fox. She considers you her little brother, Steven says, shocking everyone. Troublesome, Shikamaru says. I don't believe it, Ino says. Naruto Baka knows not but one champion, but two. You heard Champion Steven mention Champion Cynthia as well, Saka screeched out, breaking glass. How does he know them? In the first place, I smell some juicy gossip, Ino says, wanting to know how Naruto had links with the champion. Trying to ask Naruto, who just ignored her. Here's the Pokedex, Naruto says, giving the professor the Pokedex to upgrade. Wait, Naruto, what makes you so special that you know the champions? Kiba says. Mr. Uzumaki, your cloak is moving, an assistant said. Naruto looked inside and he started doing painting gestures. Hey, did you have a good nap? Naruto says, making everyone think he was crazy until a small rabbit with a V shape came out. No way, that cannot be. No way, it can't be. A victini? They shouted. The two fangirls of the emo bitch squealed at Victini's cuteness while the Uchiha got jealous. Amazing, I never seen one, said an assistant as they got close and Victini turned invisible and went back into Naruto's cloak. I'm sorry, Victini doesn't like strangers. She only likes me, Big Sis Cynthia, and Big Bro Steven, Naruto says. It's quite alright, it's our fault for crowding around you, Sycamore says as his assistants also apologized. The rookies picked their Pokemon. After that, the professor had finished upgrading the Pokedex and went and walked towards Salamence. Okay, go, ready to hit the road, Naruto says, as Naruto got licking as response from the Salamence. Naruto Uzumaki, you still have to compete in the village graduation ceremony. All trainers who registered during the village's time to register, including those who are not from the village, must battle for tradition, Raikage says. And why would I do that? Naruto says. Naruto, please, this is tradition, Hiruzen says. Fine, the tradition says a battle, right? Naruto says. Yes, a trainer from your village, and since you're originally from the Leaf, the rookies will fight each other, which means you will be facing one of the rookies, A says, but was cut off. I will agree to battle, but I will battle with Hiruzen, since he's a trainer from the Leaf, and I don't want to destroy fresh rookies out of the academy. They stand no chance against my lowest level Pokemon, which I assured you, and it was my newest Pokemon, Matang. I got it from Steven as an egg and raised it myself, and even then it will still destroy any of the Pokemon that these rookies got, because these rookies have no bond and they have no experience, Naruto says. No, the loser will battle me, Emo says. I will agree to battle you, Hiruzen says, not wanting to break any of his shinobi Pokemon trainers. No, Charmander, use Ember and Naruto Salamence, Sasuke says. Salamence just took it on. Now you see, Sasuke, the difference between a pro and a noob. Okay, Salamence, finish him off. Dragon Pulse, Naruto says, as both Charmander and Sasuke was sent to the wall as the two horse ran. Naruto, you shouldn't have done that. He's just a kid, Hiruzen says. But Hiruzen, I think you're forgetting something. I'm also a kid, and that dumbass needed to be humbled. You'd think his brother exposing his dad as a criminal and that his family were mafia bosses would make his stupid brain make him go on a redemption path. But no, this guy wants revenge on his brother. How truly disgraceful. No wonder Mikoto left him, Naruto says. We now see Naruto in the training exams. This battle will be between Hiruzen Sabatori, the man who came second place in the Kalos League, against the winner of the Junior Cup in several different regions, and the Dragon type professional Naruto Uzumaki will begin. This will be a 1v1 with no switching. Trainer, send out your Pokemon, the proctor says. Go Infernape, Hiruzen says, surprising everyone as they started to cheer because Hiruzen was using his main Pokemon, his starter, Infernape. Go Mewtwo, Naruto says, as everyone was shocked from the Leaf Village and the other villages to see a legendary Pokemon with the power to destroy worlds. But guys, that's all for today. Peace.